A lot of our ideas of democracy, of education, of philosophy, and of communication come from Socrates, and it's a great lens to look at this this interaction with brand and consumer. And he advocated two people or two entities talking to each other, beginning general questions to more specific, to arrive at depth and truth, and then eventually between the two of them would be a common understanding that sat between them, and that was the understanding of their identity. So it got down to sort of the level of their soul, and he said that it's very important to understand the soul and to know, in other words, just know deeply the person that you're communicating with. And when you apply this to more of a larger scale medium such as social media, that the brand can have a connection and a conversation now with consumers and arrive at the same depth and arrive at the same truth, and hopefully to understand each other and influence each other as is proper through the Socratic dialectic. So while the old model was one-way advertising intrusion through, say, for example, the 30-second spot, which makes ad impressions, which establishes familiarity. So when the consumer goes to pull the product off the shelf or the business buyer goes to make a purchase, that they'll remember this brand. And so the problem with this is that it's very inefficient and that a lot of messages are going out and being wasted on demographics that are not potential purchasers. And so what some of the more cutting-edge brands have realized is that consumers are most accessible when they're seeking information, and that has given rise to inbound search, because a lot of people are using the web now to search for product information, to search for reviews before making a purchase. And it starts with a need and then a keyword search, then browsing, self-education, and then buying, either online or on the store shelf or through a purchase order, what have you. But the key is to provide information when people are seeking it. And as we said before, to make your content searchable and to understand search engine optimization, and also to understand how you can make that sticky connection with your target demographic through video, through multimedia. It makes web pages much more effective when you have multimedia. It makes advertising much more effective when you can reach them through their mobile device, such as podcasting. And so for search engine optimization, you have to realize that your pages, it's all about page ranking, and that when people enter various keywords, and you've hopefully thought through very carefully what your customers are saying when they're thinking about what they need, so that they will come to your website and that they can respond to your message and your call to action. And so also to understand that search engines value and discriminate towards multimedia content, which is more valuable than text content. And just a basic understanding of how the algorithms work for the search engines. Search engines would include Google. iTunes has a search engine now for multimedia, which has been used to be used for songs, is now being used for multimedia content. And Yahoo search engine, just understanding how these things work. And one thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is that really simple syndication, which is the driver for podcasting and blogging. It's how blogging and podcasts are pushed out to the various directories and places where they're consumed, has a large impact on search engine optimization. And that is that when you write an RSS feed, it gets pushed out, it creates quality listings and other directories that point back and create inbound links, and those inbound links, which are quality links from quality sites, it doesn't help to have low quality, it helps to have high quality inbound links, improve search engine rankings, which in turn send more traffic to your site, which, if done properly with a proper call to action, can help increase your sales. So the strategy is to drive traffic to your website and then convert that traffic into sales or some other call of action. And it could be that maybe you're trying to influence, maybe perhaps through public policy, what have you, or it might be some other goal that you have, maybe a PR goal that you have in mind. But basically, the key is to understand that by using podcasting, that this is the effect that it has, is driving traffic through your site through search engine optimization. So when you're thinking about converting traffic into sales or traffic into whatever your call of action is, it's very important to realize how effective video is, because video is 5 times more effective than text. And it comes back to some basic axioms that we learned in our college study skills class, is that we only remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, and 50% of what we see and here, for example, through video. And so if you want your website to be effective when people come to it, maybe 5 times more effective, that you'll put video on your website to better engage your audience and to better make them respond to your call to action. And that can be done through online video or podcasts. And it can be done to educate your customers and prospects into buying your products or services. And so it's important to understand what is driving the modern consumer, and that is a strong appetite for knowledge. That is a trend that we're seeing throughout society, and that people, when they have an ailment, they go into their doctors sometimes knowing more than their doctor knows about their particular problem and challenging their doctor. And to know that those who do a lot of research and enjoy researching on the web frequently become key opinion leaders because they come to know a lot more than their peers about a certain subject. Then their peers begin to ask them about their subject and ask them for recommendations. And so word spreads through this type of very targeted education, say through online video or podcasting, spreads from there to a larger segment of the population by word of mouth. And it spreads through these key opinion leaders. And so this is how education and learning and multimedia combine together with what's going on in the web and social media to give you greater sales, to give you better penetration and increase your business. So there's some very important trends in learning, and that online learning is growing almost exponentially. There are a couple sites that do video-based training for software products, totaltraining, lynda.com, that are excellent and are getting a lot of traction and helping a lot of people learn very quickly how to use software products like Adobe and Quickbooks and so on and so forth. Concepts that lend themselves to description are good for audio, although video is good. Usually you can save money just by using audio, but if something is process or technique oriented, it's best to demonstrate it through video, and video is very good at that. It's very good at showing process, sequential process. A lot of people don't realize that iTunes now has a very strong anchor, and that is education, and that is the anchor tenant for iTunes for podcasting, because 74 universities, as recently counted, are now podcasting a portion of their courses. For example, UC Berkeley, my alma mater, has over 100 complete courses available on iTunes, and which represent over 4,000 audio and video lectures. And that's just UC Berkeley. There are 74 other institutions that are podcasting their courses. What a lot of marketers are also beginning to realize is that people are using the iTunes search field as a multimedia search engine. Just like they'd use a regular search engine, they're now entering keywords that they'd normally enter into a search engine into iTunes. See, the old model is that people would enter their song titles or movie titles into iTunes and buy their music. Well, they're doing the same thing now with search terms that they're interested in finding out more about, such as clean energy, which brings back more than 10 college courses and 12 podcasts, which represents hundreds of hours of multimedia education. And when I say 10 college courses, these aren't 10 lectures. These are 10 complete college courses. And with 12 podcasts, these are 10 podcast channels, each one having separate episodes. So that's hundreds of hours of multimedia education, and that's growing every month. I hope you're getting the message here that you can gain a lot of exposure and a lot of traction by connecting with your audience, by educating them and following this current trend and using online video or podcasting to achieve a greater impact with your message. And the nice thing about using online video and podcasting is that compared to other media, they're very inexpensive to produce. So Mobilecast Media offers consulting services in this area to help your company get on track with what's happening with new media. And people choose to deal with us because we have very strong domain expertise. We've been dealing in this for a long time. We can help them get to market much quicker with much better outcomes while avoiding embarrassing mistakes and allowing you to focus on your core competencies, that is developing better products and services and letting us help you market your products and services. So feel free to contact us. Visit www.mobilecastmedia.com or write contact@mobilecastmedia.com or call us at 1-800-508-8155. Now, I hope you watch some of the other presentations that are available on the website or via podcast or YouTube, which deal with online video solutions, video podcasting solutions, and audio podcasting solutions. Thank you.